מיטיב מו ברד הרבינה. מדף דלת עמוד בית. מיטיב מו ברד הרבינה. We have it? Okay, the Gemara says, so we learned yesterday that it's important to link between Geulah and Tefillah, right? Geulah and Tefillah. So, the argument that we have between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi is whether it's at the night, it's also is important at the night like the day, or the night is not so important like the day. At the day, the redemption took place during the day, right? We left Egypt during the day. So Rabbi says, so Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi says, so therefore we don't have to do anything on the night, during the Ota, at night. But Rabbi Yochanan says, no, the permission that we got, the official permission that we got was at night, and therefore we should also link and put together the redemption and tefillah at the night, just as we all agree that we should do during the day. The Gemara says, so the Gemara...
They have an argument about whether it comes, which comes first?
Yeah.
Based on...
Yeah, of course, it's all the same. The Gemara says, Mativ mo bered ravina. So the Gemara is asking a question from a different break. We say that in the evenings we have two blessings before Kirat Shema and at Arvit, Ma'ariv Arvim and Ovet Amo Yisrael. There's two blessings that we say before Kirat Shema. It's the Gal Yisrael and Birkat HaShivim. The Gemara says, and if you say that, like according to Rabbi Yochanan, that Rabbi Yochanan says that the evening we have to link between Geulah and Tefillah, so lo kasamach Geulah and Tefillah, so we're not doing anything, we're not linking between those two things because we have this interruption of Ashkivenu. Okay? So because after Bagal Yisrael, Birkat Geulah, we say Ashkivenu. So that's interruption between. So it's not, we're not linking. So what is Rabbi Yochanan talking about? The Gemara says, Amri kevanti tiknu Rabbanan Ashkivenu Geulah richta damia. The Gemara says, since the rabbi is established to say Ashkivenu after Tefillah, so it's the continuation, so to speak, of the first bracha of Gal Yisrael, and it's not considered interruption. So there's no interruption between Geulah and Tefillah. The Gemara brings a proof to that. Because if you want to argue and say that that's not the case, you will have the same problem with Shacharit. What's the same problem with Shacharit? ואמר רבי יוחנן בתחילה אומר אדוני שפת יפתח ולבסוף הוא אומר יהי לו תלמי פי אלא הטעם כיוונתי תקנו רבן אליהם אמר אדוני שפת יפתח כתפילה אריך לדמיה הכנה כיוונתי תקנו רבן אליהם אמר אשכיבנו כגאולה אריך לדמיה. So Gemara says in the morning we also say Hashem שפת יפתח, right? So it's not part of the Shmona Esrei, yet we say it. Why is it not considered the interruption? Since the rabbi established to say it, it's part of the tefillah. It's kind of a long tefillah. Okay, it's the beginning of tefillah, it's part of the tefillah, so it's not a problem. The same thing will apply here with Ashkivenu, it's not considered interruption. Okay? So just before we continue, let's read the Tosfot, second Tosfot on the page, Daf Dalet, Amud Bet. The Amar Yochanan Eizo ben Arba. Tosfot says, ואנו שאומרים מיורננו ופסוקים אחרים אחרי השכיבנו נראה ראוי ותקנו על רבנן אבל כגאולה אריכתא. ותקנו לומר זה שבתוך כך יתפלל חברו גם הוא ולא ילך אל בית כנסת עד שיגמור כל אחד תפילתו. The Tosfot says here that Ashkenazim, we don't say it, but Ashkenazim say Yiruenenu and other psukim after Ashkivenu. So why is that not considered interruption? It says the same answer that the Gemara says, the Tosfot also says. The rabbi is established to say those psukim, so that's also those psukim, although the Gemara doesn't mention those psukim, but it's also, but the answer the Gemara provides us, it also covers this question, right? That is also part of the continuation of the redemption, the tefillah, so it's not a problem. And Tosfot now says, in the first place, why do we say it? Because those days, where was the shul located? In the fields, right? That's why we say Birkat Men Sheva on Shabbat. We want to wait for people till we finish Men Sheva. People will finish the Amidah and then you can walk back together because they were demons, right? But today we don't have it. Anyway, so the reason why we say the Gemara Tosfot says, since the Tosfot mentions that the rabbis established to say those Yohanenu, so why are we saying it? Because we want to wait for those people. And that's why we add those psukim, giving time to those people to finish tefillah, and then we can all go back together. Okay? וגם, תוספות says, יש באותה פסוקים י"ח אזכרות כנגד י"ח ברכות 18. אגב, שתקנו לומר אותם פסוקים, תקנו לומר חתימה של יראו עינינו. So the Gemara says that there is also 18 names of Hashem over there in those psukim. And since the rabbis established to say it, those psukim, we also concluded with a bracha, because just what it feels okay.
Like representing the 18 brachot of the Shema.
Okay, yeah, corresponding to the 18 brachot. That's what the Tosfos says. Corresponding to the 18 blessings that we have in Shemona Esrei. But since the rabbis established the psukim, Tosfos as a quiet question. Many times the Tosfos asks a quiet question. What's a quiet question? Okay, just say psukim. Why do you need to say that? Why do you have to conclude with the bracha? The answer is no. There's agav. Since the rabbis established to say those 18 askarot, those 18 names of Hashem, and so we also conclude with the bracha, just as many other psukim, many other blessings of the rabbis. Because the question is, if it's just to wait, just say the psukim. Why do you need to say a bracha? Why does the rabbis establish to say a bracha? The end was Baruch Atah Hashem, right? So that's the answer. Gemara says, "V'alacha k'Rabbi Yochanan." The Braita Misaele. V'chem pasak Hilchot Gedolot. So Gemara says, Tosfos says that we follow Rabbi Yochanan. That what does Rabbi Yochanan say? That you have to link. Good. Also in Arvit, not just in Shachrit. Gemara says, "V'imken." Therefore, based on what I'm saying, that Rabbi Yochanan, that we should follow Rabbi Yochanan. יש להיזהר שלא לספר בגאולת ערבית ל-18. One should be careful, since we follow Rabbi Yochanan, one should be careful not to talk, not to have any conversation between Geula after Shkivenu and the beginning of 18. Because that's הלכה. אוקיי. ומי הוא בסדר רבי עמרם פירש מה שאנו אומרים קדיש בין גאולה לתפילת שחרית להשמועינן דלא באינן מסמך גאולה דלא באינן מסמך גאולה דערבית לתפילה משום לתפילת ערבית רשות. Ma says, hey, 1 second, we have Rabbi Amram. What is Rabbi Amram saying? That the reason why we're saying Kaddish, yeah? You're allowed to say Kaddish. Good. One is allowed to say Kaddish, Yitzchak, Ariel. One is allowed to say Kaddish between Ashkivenu and Tfilah. Why is it one allowed to say Kaddish? It's interruption. The answer is because he wants to teach us that Arvit is you don't have to link between Geulah and Tfilah, because Arvit altogether is Rishut. Is an optional mitzvah, right?
Didn't we go over yesterday where somebody said you shouldn't say?
Right. Yeah, we'll get to it. That's why Tosfos disagrees. Tosfos says, "V'lo nira." Doesn't make sense. Why? Im ken Rabbi Yochanan הסביר לתפילת ערבית ולא נראה. אם כן רבי יוחנן הסביר לתפילת ערבית חובה. דפלוגתאי דרבי יוחנן ולאחר כרבי יוחנן. Says it turns out that if you say that it's rishut, so Rabbi Yochanan that says you have to link, he holds that what? It's chova, obligatory, right? The 1 + 1. If you say that you have to make this link between Geula and Tfilah, it turns out Rabbi Yochanan holds that Arvit is chova. Because if you don't have to put them together, it's optional, it's not chova. If that's the case, the plug Rabbi Yochanan, it's an argument between. And we have this argument between Rav and Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yochanan. What does Rabbi Yochanan say? It's chova. And if it's chova, subsequently, you have to link between Geula and Tfilah, right? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So how can Rabbi Amram argue with halacha? What? Yes, they're mufarash. Gemara says, "V'nachol lachmir."
So you're saying, is it chova and you have to connect them? Or
Exactly.
You don't have to.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
מה זה? ונכון להחמיר ולהיזהר מלספר בינתיים. Now the Gemara is kind of changing, goes, okay, therefore we should be extra careful not to talk. So before he says don't talk, but after mentioning that Rabbi Amram has a different opinion, he says nachon lihizher. But many poskim, like they've been in argument, says be concerned to those rabbis that are strict, right? If there's no argument, then that's what the right thing to do. You're not like just lihizher. See how Tosfos is changing the thing. At the beginning they say, Yesh lihizher. And then later on they say, Nachon la'achmir. What's the difference between Yesh lihizher and Nachon la'achmir? Huh? One should be careful. One should be careful. Nachon la'achmir, it's good to be strict. So now he's softening.
Softening
the halacha here.
Softening it.
Softening, yeah. Because we have Rabbi Amar. Okay. Gemara says, "V'item akasha ilcheta dekaimalan." Sorry, the Tosfot says, "V'item akasha ilcheta dekaimalan tfilat arvit reshut." V'cha paskinan ki Rabbi Yochanan. And if you wanna ask this question and say there's a contradiction, because one place you say that tfilat arvit reshut, one place you say that tfilat arvit is reshut. It's optional. And here we say, Rabbi Yochanan says, and here we call that Rabbi Yochanan, you have to make this link between Geula and Tfilah, right? And why do you have to make this link again? Because it's Chovah. So once you say Halacha is Rishut, and then you say it's Chovah. צריך לומר, אפילו היא סובר רבי יוחנן כרב, תאמר רשות, אם מכל מקום מחייב לסמוך. אם כן, גם לנו יש לסמוך. רבי יוחנן says, no, it's not a contradiction. Even if you say it's optional, it's still important to make this link. Don't think that it's 1 plus 1. Don't think it's because it's Yerushut, you don't have to, and because it's Chovah, for those that say it's Chovah, then you have to. No, there's no connection between. Of course, if it was Chovah, then it becomes even more important. No question about it. But it's also important when we hold that it's optional tefillah. Because, it's like saying, when a person is eating bread, he needs to say bracha. But they don't have to eat bread. So I can neglect this bracha. No, once you want to eat bread, you have to say bracha, and you have to say proper bracha with proper attention. Okay, good. So that's Tosfot. You have time to continue a bit more? אמר בליעזר, אמר רבינה. כל האומר תהילה לדוד בכל יום 3 פעמים, מובטח לו שהוא בן עולם הבא. Whoever says תפילה לדוד,
After all that Tosfot, I forgot where we are in the Gemara.
so אמר בליעזר, אמר רב אבינו. אמר רבי אבינו. פשוט על זה. כל האומר תפילה, whoever is saying תפילה לדוד 3 times a day, מובטח לו שהוא בן עולם הבא. Wow, beautiful. He has a share in the world to come. You just need to do 3 times Tefillah David, and you have a share in the world to come. But imagine a person say, you know what, I can do whatever I want. I can halal Shabbat, I can eat non-kosher food. As long as I say 3 times Tefillah David, is that going to work?
No.
Of course it's not going to work. Yeah. So what does it mean, Muftach Lo? Huh?
It's like taking a pill to lose weight and you eat garbage.
So we have Abu Draim. Abu Draim explains, what does it mean here, Muftach Lo? יכולה להכריע את כף הזכות לאדם להביא לו לעולם הבא. It can help him reach the level of העולם הבא. It will support him. And the second meaning is,
He's saying פותח את הדרך, so you recognize Hashem.
Right. Recognize Hashem, right. That's what, it doesn't say that, but the fact you say, of course, that's the most important part in Tefillah David, פותח את ידיך. Like you believe that everything, all the food is from Hashem. So that's what Abu Dharam says. Abin Ishchai, in his book Ben Yoyada, says that by saying P'tech Yedadecha, saying Tefillah David, is זוכר שלא ייכשל בעבירות ולאבד חלקו לעולם הבא. It will help him. It will come up here a spiritual protection for him, not to commit sins. That's what the Ben Ishchai says. Okay. Now getting into the question, Ma'itama, why is it so important to say P'tech Yedadecha 3 times a day? It says Ilma Mishum Data be'alef and bet. If you wanna say that the reason why we should say because it has this order aleph bet, so we want to basically cover the alphabet, the 24 letters, so 22 letters. So that's why we are saying Tefillah David. So why not say a different pasuk, a different mizmor that has the order of alphabet, and it's mentioned, it's written 8 times. It's even better. And if you argue and say, no, the reason why we say is the reason why we say Tefillah David, because it mentioned a very important pasuk of praising Hashem and thanking Hashem and believing that Hashem is preparing the food for us. And that's why we say Tefillah David from the beginning. So in that case you can say the big Hallel in Mizmor Kuf Lamed Vav, that over there it says, Hashem is giving food, bread to each and every person, each living, each living being, yeah? The answer is, Ela Mishum Di'id Betarte. The reason why we say Petach Decha, because there's 2 things. 2 significant things. The first thing is, there's the order of Aleph Bet. The second thing is, we have Potech Decha. Gemara continues. Amar Yochanan, mipnei ma lo ne'emar nun b'asher. Why are you skipping the letter nun? There's no nun in Ashrei, right?
Right.
I mean, there's no pasuk that start with nun. We have all the rest of the letters, but don't have nun. Gemara says, mipnei shesh ba lemapalatan shel Bnei Yisrael. So he says, why are we not mentioning nun? Because it mentions the downfall of the enemies of Am Yisrael, so to speak. It's referring to Am Yisrael, but we should never say that downfall. We should never speak badly about Am Yisrael. So we say Mapalatan shel Bnei Yisrael, the downfall of those that hate Israel. Sagina or what do you call it? Nefela not tofsiv kum b'tot Israel. So once it fell, it will not get up. Am Yisrael. Okay, so that's.
The nun is for nafal.
Right, nun is for nafal. Correct. B'ma'arava in Eretz Yisrael metartze la'achim. But they have a different way of reading this pasuk. Nefala v'lo tasif limpol od kum b'tot Yisrael. So he says, once you failed and it's difficult for you to get up, then what's going to happen? Kum. It's the end of the pasuk. You will get up, right? So it's a positive pasuk. If you fall down, you will not fall down again. And you will get, so therefore, kum b'tot Yisrael. Therefore, get up. Okay.
So they're saying you should say Ashrei 3 times a day?
Yeah, they still believe it should say 3 times a day, but they say nun.
Okay.
They explain this pasuk in a positive way. But now we have a big question here. What's the question that we have? If we are explaining this pasuk in a positive way, so why didn't David HaMelech, based on what they say, why did David HaMelech mention this pasuk in Tila David? Right? It's understandable. Go to one that says that this pasuk is a negative. It's not good to Am Yisrael. Mapalatan. So that's how we don't say it. But in to what Ma'arab and Eretz Yisrael are saying, it's a good pasuk. So there's 2 answers. One of Rabbi Eliyahu Mavina and the Ben Yishchai. The Gemara says that it's still talking about Mapalatan shel Rashaim. It's still talking about the downfall of the wicked people. And the thing is that we got so low that there's no way we can go deeper than that. So Hashem will pick us. So Hashem will pick us up. So it is talking about a negative thing. But the end of this prophecy is a good thing. That's true. But it's still talking about a negative thing. That's what the Gemara says. Even according to this opinion, we don't mention it in Torah. The Ben Ish Chai says in Ben Yehuda, what does the Ben Ish Chai say?
They want Hashem to pick us up.
Oh yeah, the Ben Ish Chai says that there's a difference between Hashem and Am Yisrael. This pasuk is talking about Am Yisrael, that they, by themselves, independently, they need to support themselves. So we want Hashem to help us. It's not going to happen. So it is Tkuma, it is a positive thing, but it's not a complete positive thing. Because we want Hashem to pick us up. That's why, even according to the Ma'arava, even according to Eretz Yisrael, we don't mention this pasuk. Gemara says, let's continue a bit more. Amar Nachman bar Yitzchak, אפילו אחי, חזר דוד ושמחם ברוח הקודש, שנאמר, סומך השם לכל הנופלים. Rabbi Nachman bar Yitzchak says that despite the fact that we don't mention nun, but there is a support to this idea of nun. It says over there, סומך השם לכל הנופלים. Hashem supports to all those that are falling, right? So somech is supporting. Who is supporting? And noflim. How does noflim start with? Nun. So there is a illusion. There is a siman. There is a sign.
And it's the same nafal that we're referring to anyway.
Yeah. Okay, the Gemara continues a bit more. Let's continue a bit more. Amar Rabbi Eliezer bar Ravina. Gadol ma shenema b'Michael, yoter mima shenema b'Gabriel. There's a certain thing that we're going to learn now that was said regarding Michael, and this is greater than Gabriel, the angel. Gabriel, the angel. Yeah, not our Gabriel, the different Gabriel. Yeah, maybe you're also angel, who knows? Di'ilu b'Michael ketiv.
It's not the angel Gabriel.
Yeah, we're talking about the angel, yeah.
Okay.
And the Gemara. דאילו במיכאל כתיב, ויעף אליו אחד מן השרפים. ואילו לגבי גבריאל דכתיב, האיש גבריאל אשר ראיתי בחזון, בתחילה מואף ביעף. So, there is a difference here, the clear difference between Michael and Gabriel. With regard to Michael, it says, ויעף. So it looks like he's doing his task, he's doing his job, with one shot, with one jump, with one flight. Yeah, he flies once, and that flight. It's one flight, and he complete his mission.
Waving his wings.
Yeah, but Gabriel, it says Mo'av Bayav. It says twice, meaning he needs to do his task, his job, twice. He has a job twice. So he's not so expert, or this the airplane or whatever you call it is not so advanced. Yeah, it's he needs to take a break. Like it's when you purchase a ticket, you want to go to Israel. There's a direct travel, and there's a connection, right? So connection is lower, as the price is less than.
Take a connection.
Right. So here he needs to take a connection, so to speak. Yeah, he needs to take he needs to land at Russia or someplace, and then go to Israel. Okay.
Oh, like a stopover.
Stopover. Yeah. Don't you say connection?
Yeah.
So connection. Okay. Gemara says my mashma.
Connection. You take the stopover.
Stopover. Okay. Gemara says my mashma da'echad b'Michaelu. Gemara says okay. 1 second. Before you praise Gabriel, who said that this pasuk is referring to Michael? It just says Vayaf Elai Echad, one of the angels. It doesn't specify. It doesn't say which angel we're talking about. So who told you that this angel is talking about Michael? The Gemara says Amar B'Yochanan Atya Echad Echad. There's a link. Gezerah Shava that we make between those two words of one Echad Echad. K'tibacha Vayaf Elai Echad Min HaSerafim. Here it says that one of the angels, one of the seraphim. Okay? As if you read the Rambam brings 10 different levels of angels. One of them is Safim, so one of them is flying towards me. So over there in Daniel it says that Michael is also called Achad. So you see that he's called Achad, and here we say Achad without mentioning his name. But we learn that since over there it says Michael Achad, here when it says Oli Achad without Michael, we understand that it's also talking about Michael. The Gemara says, let's finish with this one. Tana Michael be'echad. So up to now we learned that Michael is doing his task with one flight. Gabriel Stein with two flights. He needs to jump twice. Eliyahu be'arba. Eliyahu Navi needs to take 4 breaks until he completes his mission. Mechamalach HaMavet, the angel of death, was 8 times. But in time of a gefa, in time of a plague, he can do it with one shot, with one jump, with one flight. Okay. That's the end of it. So with that, we'll continue tomorrow with Amar Rabbi Yossi.
Okay. Second to bottom line.
Yeah. Bottom line of Daf Dalet. Yeah. We're trying to catch up with the original Daf Amud Yomi of Dirshu. Okay. Yom Tov Lekulam.